Hi, everyone. If you landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro. And guess what? I have no idea what the hell's going on. My computer just conked out. I can't see you. I can't hear you. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to put the comments up on the screen. And we're going to hope to God that I can figure this out. Today, we're supposed to talk about California, and let's see if I can have a better angle. I don't know. This is just crazy. I'm coming to you from my phone, which is really not ideal because I can't see a damn thing. At any rate, we're supposed to be talking about California, and I'm going to see if, what these little buttons are here. Oh, okay. Here's chat. No, that's not working. I can't see anything. Oh, there's your chat. This is crazy. I don't know. Well, as I said, we're supposed to be talking about California and the governor's race in California and how crazy that is going. I would love to show you some videos of the crazy mayhem that's going on in California, but I'm not quite sure that I can get that up for you. But I'm going to look. I'm going to try. But in the meantime, everybody talk amongst yourselves. This California race there's 7 candidates in the race, and because Newsom has to go, not just for obvious reasons, but for also term limits. And there's 7 candidates in the race, and the one with the most votes was Hilton, who was a Republican, and right after him was the Italian, I forget his name, who's also a Republican. But now we have Becerra, who we've talked about on this show before. He was the AG for California, and his wife is the one that introduced that bill, the one that doesn't allow independent reporters to report on fraud. So anyway, he's running, and now he's tied with Hilton, but the Republican is right underneath him. And then it's still anybody's game because there is a lot of time. Well, no, not a lot of time left. There's a lot of undecided voters. There's 14% who are undecided. So just give me a second here. Let me see if I could work out the screen because I do want to show you my clips. I found them. Oh, look. Oh, great. Okay. This is crazy. All right. So here's the debate while I get used to this layout.
7 leading candidates for California governor rating the person whose shoes they're hoping to fill.
Performative.
Bold.
Progressive.
Failed.
Steve. Failure. You can't take my word.
All right.
Game-changing. Incomplete.
The clear difference in those one-word answers between the Democratic and Republican candidates also evident in issues like immigration.
We should abolish ICE. It's breaking the law.
No one has broken the law in California.
And this interaction between Katie Porter and Steve Hilton after Porter says immigrants contribute significantly to our economy.
Given that you're an immigrant and you added to our population and we're all having to live with the consequences of that decision.
Katie, there's a difference I think you'll accept between legal and illegal immigration.
Yeah. More divide over President Trump, who has endorsed Steve Hilton.
The fact is, all you do is point at Democrats, scream
But you have been in charge for 16
years, and don't have anything else to say.
And yes, I'm going to repeat Donald Trump as often as I have to because he's the real menace we have in California.
He's got nothing else to say.
Your perspective
on how each would work with the federal government under Trump?
If he's going to attack California, yeah, F him.
To work with the president regardless of party.
That's why I had to go toe-to-toe with him in court over 120 times.
Best resistance is delivering results.
You're not going to hear one word from me about President Trump, President Biden, or anything else, because I'm going to be the only one on the stage that's actually going to be the governor of California for Californians.
Because I've been in enough boardrooms to know a crook when I see one, and he is a crook.
But I can also challenge Donald Trump.
And multiple "I've had it" moments from Katie Porter, in which she addressed head-on concerns regarding her past.
For sure.
Boys.
But it's not.
Boys.
Diego Rosa,
Enough with the
I'll get right back
bickering.
to you.
I can't believe that on a stage with 30 minutes of interrupting and bickering and name calling and shouting and disrespect for everyone up here who's stepping into public service, that anyone wants to talk about my temperament.
Chad Bianco's past affiliation with the extremist Oath Keepers group also caught heat. Bianco, when pressed by moderators, clarified he was referring to taking an oath, though he did defend the group.
So you're an oath keeper. We all know that.
And I'm very proud of it.
Well, you should.
I'm very proud of it and out of defending it.
I don't think an oath keeper is qualified to be governor.
I don't think you know what an oath keeper is.
And do you still consider yourself a member of that group, to be clear?
No.
And unsurprising for many, most of the attacks, left and right, targeted toward leading Democratic candidate Javier Becerra.
Being in bed with oil companies is a mistake. Javier Becerra has taken the max amount of money from Chevron.
Yeah, it's a rich response from a guy who made his billions investing in fossil fuels and oil companies.
In his counter-argument, Becerra pointing to controversies over Steyer's past investments in fossil fuel and oil companies, which Steyer has admitted to and said he stopped more than a decade ago. Democrat Tony Thurmond was not invited to the debate as he did not meet the polling threshold. Jenny Hutt, News 8.
Okay, so this was really some crazy, shit that went on. And I would suggest that you go to CNN and have a look at the whole debate, because the arguing and the bickering was even beyond what we've seen in the presidential debates, even when all those Republican candidates were on the stage and all those Democrat candidates were on the stage. But what I come away with is that Steyer, the billionaire, is never going to get in. He's just slipping away in the polls because the socialists want Becerra. The socialists have decided that Becerra is their guy, and that's who they're getting behind. They need Becerra. So it's likely going to come down to Hilton and Becerra. But the question is can Hilton pull it out? And I could tell you now that he's doing really well. I'm going to show you in the polls. I'll show you the polls now. And I want to apologize. I can't see the comments on this layout on the phone. So I'm not going to be able to shout out to all you tonight. And I'm sorry about that because I love you and you know that. But I still wanted to be able to jump on to say hi, because I think the California race is really important and the ballots have gone out already. Early voting is starting. So please forgive me. If I could figure out how to do that while I'm playing the videos, I will give a shout out. I saw that Jeff Bardo was there. I know Lucille was there. I know Kevin's there. I just can't, it's too tiny. So it's coming up on the side, and please forgive me. It's been a rough couple of days. All right, here's the polls in California.
Voters start to tune in. A new poll is showing a significant shakeup in the race for governor.
ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Hutt is here now with the latest.
Well, that's a poll started in March by the California Democratic Party, and it's continuously shown the two leading Republican candidates as the likely top two vote getters. That is, until today.
There's an attention being paid to this race that wasn't happening months ago.
That momentum clear in the latest poll of likely voters in the race for California governor, especially for Democratic candidate Javier Becerra. The former state attorney general and former U.S. Health and Human Services secretary tied with Republican candidate and former Fox News host Steve Hilton, who's been endorsed by President Trump, at the top of the governor's race with 18%.
He had this really strong favorable rating among voters, a really low unfavorable rating. And those paired together are kind of the seeds of potentially kind of growing in this field.
That momentum had previously been with former Congressman and Democratic candidate Eric Swalwell, according to election data expert Paul Mitchell. Swalwell stepped down from the race last month following allegations of sexual assault, which he has denied.
It's very likely that if he was still in the race, that there wouldn't have been this opportunity for Becerra to have this surge.
Becerra has seen a major surge, jumping 15 points from just 3% in the Democratic Party's first survey back in March. And there's still room for movement. About 14% of voters remain undecided, down from 24% in May. Right behind Hilton and Becerra is Republican Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco with 14% of likely voters. Then it's Democrat Tom Steyer at 12%, Katie Porter at 8%, Matt Mayhem at 7%, Antonio Villaraigosa at 2%, and Tony Thurmond at 1%.
Okay, so there's a real good shot that Hilton could win this thing. And that's why we're talking about it, because California, like New York, has enormous electoral college votes. California, like New York, is a very, very blue state, but California, like New York, is corrupt. But unlike New York, California's corruption has gone unchecked. That just truly has gone unchecked, because they're just a deviant state, and it's such a sin because California is so beautiful, but because of Hollywood and because of the Chinese influence on California, their corruption has just gone unchecked. And I learned something today that I did not realize in the past, that California gets their gas and oil from overseas. That blew my mind. So I can't figure out why, and I'm sorry, I should have done more research about it, but I don't know if any of you all knew this, but they get most of their oil and gas from overseas, where America does not. I mean, the rest of America does not. And I don't think it's because of their geographical location. I think it's just their choice. And that is very interesting to me. I feel like, Santillan always talks about Hawaii being like different than the rest of America. And I'm starting to notice that California is too. I'm going to show you this little clip about gas prices in California. Oh wait, where did it go? All right, here it is. Here it is. And the fact that Gavin Newsom refuses to do anything to ease the burden on Californians with gas.
What's the plan here?
Yeah, this was kind of a last-minute hearing that was organized this week. State energy officials said California basically has enough supply to meet demand for the next 6 weeks if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed. Beyond that, there are a lot of questions. This hearing was in the Assembly's Energy and Utilities Committee. In fact, it's still going on right now. It included Governor Gavin Newsom's top officials who monitor the oil and gas industry, notably California Energy Commission Vice Chairman Siva Gunda. Western States Petroleum Association President Jody Mueller was there, along with the UC Berkeley energy expert Severin Borenstein. Everyone agreed the war in Iran is making the state's gas price situation worse, while also agreeing California is relying way more on foreign countries for oil, which makes the state vulnerable to price spikes. Gunda specifically was asked what happens if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed for another 60 days. He said the state's oil supply is stable in the short term, but beyond that, if the strait stays closed, prices will likely go up.
What should California consumers be expecting in terms of price if this conflict continues for 3 months, 6 months?
If the prices continue to go beyond $6.25, you will really see demand coming down. So we would expect, the prices to stabilize under $7, more like $6.50.
He did float the suggestion of a possible gas tax holiday here in California. Governor Gavin Newsom has shut down the idea of suspending the gas tax as recently as a couple of weeks ago.
Did the governor say why he was shutting that idea down?
He just said no. He basically said no.
So Why do you think Gavin Newsom is refusing to do a gas tax holiday? I have an idea of why he's refusing to do a gas tax holiday. And since I can't put up my poll because my computer is crapped out, we'll do a poll together. How many of you think that Newsom doesn't want to do a gas tax holiday because he's going bankrupt in the state? That would be choice number one. Choice number two is that he wants to somehow blame Donald Trump for the pain and therefore get Becerra in above Hilton because Trump has endorsed Hilton. That's choice number two. Put your number one or number two in the comments and let's see who believes what. It's just crazy that people are suffering and he's not willing to put a hold on the gas tax to help out his constituents because he doesn't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't care about the people of California. Is all he cares about is he wants to be president and he wants power. And that's why I say that California is more blatantly corrupt than Illinois and New York, in my opinion. I might be wrong, and you all can put your comments below, and I really wish I could even see your comments, but I can't. We're gonna wind up having to end the show early because this is a clusterfuck of enormous proportions. But I just want you to see what's going on in California because this is what one of the largest states in our union, one of the most beautiful states in our union, one of the richer states in our union. This is what has happened in California.
I spent the month of October 2022 in California. I drove up and down this state to capture how this place has changed. I saw devastating homelessness, amazing ocean views, and some fascinating communities in the desert. California has a lot to love, but it's troubled in ways like no other state. It's been said that as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation. I think you'd agree that a lot of the stuff I captured is troubling if this is indeed our country's future.
Is anybody in there? Hey, can I talk to you?
What's that? This was supposed to be a neighborhood. I spent the month of October 2022 in
Okay, so I'm trying desperately to read your comments, and I just can't figure out how to do that without pressing my whole face against the screen, which nobody needs to see. So we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to leave you with this thought process. What would happen if Hilton actually wins this race in California and California has a Republican governor? The last one was Ronald Reagan. The last Republican governor was Ronald Reagan. So that was a long time ago. It would be amazing, especially as a lot of the red states are redistricting and they're getting rid of that gerrymandering for race. So what could happen to America if California was not as blatantly corrupt as it is right now? What would happen to America if California no longer was beholden to the CCP and started acting more like the rest of America? It's something to ponder. It's something to think about. Right now, it looks like there's a shot. But if the gas prices continue to rise and the pain is there and they can successfully blame it on Trump instead of Newsom, the likelihood is Becerra is going to win. But if somehow the OPEC does collapse and the gas prices come tumbling down, you could see a situation where Hilton is going to win. The most important thing is this is a jungle primary, so there's no parties, right? It's whoever gets the most votes wins the primaries. So it would be great if there were 2 Republicans, but I don't know. I don't know what the likelihood of that is. I think it's not. But I'd love to see Becerra and Hilton together, and I'd love to see the recovery of our oil prices, obviously before November. If that happens, I think that there's a good chance that Hilton could take California. I don't think we have the same chance in New York. I don't think that Blakeman has got his act together. Hilton really has been pounding the pavement. And when it was Elise Stefanik in New York, I think that there was a chance, but I can't see Blakeman taking out Kathy Hochul, frankly. Too many people have left. I mean, they have left California too, but not in the upstate portion of California. So at any rate, usually we're over, but tonight we're going to be under. I'm going to have to sign off because my eyes are tired. I spent the day with Mom. She's doing okay. She did therapy today, which was amazing to me. And anyway, I haven't been sleeping at night because I've been worried for her. So I apologize that this is probably not the best show we ever did. But hopefully you'll remember about the better shows and the stuff that we've learned together, and you'll cut me some slack on this one. I'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for sticking with me all through the problems, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8.